Hey guys and geeks, welcome back to the Geekritique show. We're your hosts. I'm Jen.
I'm Dakota.
And it's book club time.
Yes, week 4 of the Name of the Wind book club that we're doing. This is the first in hopefully many books that we cover. And if you are part of the book club already and you have caught up to chapter 64, you are definitely in the right place. If you are not part of the book club, or if you are not caught up to chapter 64, we are going to be talking about everything from chapter 1 to chapter 64 in this video. So if you want to go back, you can click in the description below, see any week that we are currently on, and you can talk amongst each other as far as like what you've read so far, and we hope to encourage discussion like throughout, I guess. And if you guys aren't a member of the book club, link it to the description to the introduction video of our book club so that you can get 2 free audiobooks and the chance to join totally free, so that you can share your thoughts with us and we can share ours with you. So a lot happened this week.
As usual.
probably my favorite chapter
I know.
in all of The Name of the Wind, at least the first book. You know? But let's talk about this naturally. What did we cover this week, Jen?
Oh jeez, what did we cover this week? Where did we start this week?
Well, the last week we ended with chapter 50, I believe, which was when Quoth met Debbie.
Okay.
And he made the first deal.
So okay. So I was like, to me it all kind of blends together.
I know,
and
after a certain
time
point.
and me don't really get along. But yeah, so Quoth has music now, and
he's back. In the
these
game.
are my favorite chapters. You know, where he's playing at the Aeolian when he gets his pipes.
Yeah,
it is that whole scene when the string snaps. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I actually, in light of this week, I got a guitar and I started playing just because I'm like, man, I would love to experience music the way that Quoth does. Yeah. One day I'll get a lute. That's my dream.
It's an expensive instrument, especially
they're
because
you have to get them custom made.
Of course, yeah.
So it's crazy. I don't
there
think
are
I'll
no companies who mass produce lutes anymore.
Yeah.
If they've ever had...
they do have some, but apparently they're so bad that people have developed repair shops for the lutes that you buy from the mass producers.
Oh, wow.
That's what I saw online. So I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever actually get a lute.
Yeah, and actually a few of you guys actually did mention the music that was being played in this reading. So actually, let's just go through some of the comments that we received. Spencer Newman, you mentioned that last week you fell behind, and that's totally okay. We're not... This isn't required reading by any means. We're not grading you or anything. This is just if you have the spare time and you want to read a good book, if you want to reread a good book, this is where we're going to be doing it. It's awesome that you were able to catch up this past week. You told me that the way that this book changes its tone multiple times is fascinating. It's hard to believe that the section I just finished tonight is part of the same book as the first 15 chapters. It's just so different. And that's so true.
Yeah.
You think about each and every week, it's a totally different episode of a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not...
Yeah, and that's why I think this series will work extremely well as a TV show.
Yes, and I don't know if you guys know, but...
It's going to be a TV show.
Well, we don't know exactly how it's going to be worked, because the company that bought the rights to the Name of the Wind property are planning a movie, TV show, and video game series that are interconnected. That sounds a little out of place, and I'm not really sure how to take all that information, but we know that Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is the composer for...
Hamilton?
Moana, yeah, he's an extremely accomplished composer.
Yeah, when he proposed to me, I don't know how I ended up with Dakota.
Watch it. When Quoth was riding the horns the second time with Ambrose, and Elodin started singing the song, I literally started laughing out loud, uncontrollably, and the people sitting in the room with me looked at me like I was crazy. That's
gonna happen when you're listening to this book in public.
Elodin in general.
I love him.
He's absolutely
the best. We just listened to that in the car too, and it's great because we'll listen to it in the car and we'll both be cracking up laughing. And that scene, we were just dying because the whole scene is so ridiculous.
It's comical, and the masters are actually making fun of Ambrose.
Yeah.
While they're doing it. Am I the only one who really wants to hear these songs actually put to music?
Yes. No.
No, you're not.
I don't know. I meant like, yes, I'm really excited too. And I was going to say, yes, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to do a wonderful job with this. I don't know why I said it like that.
Actually, you can find composers.
I'm really hyper because Dakota made this delicious lemonade that's really sugary and lovely.
There are composers who have done...
Oh, and yeah, these are really beautiful.
like their own iteration of like Name of the Wind songs. So this one is Chandrian Chandrian. It's a fan-made composition by Merrigan. You can find her on YouTube too. Alright, so we're not going to get too far into it.
But yeah, some people have done, you know, like Lan Ray's song and
yeah, like
oh my
incredible
gosh.
Stuff.
People are so talented.
Even more talented is, I think, Patrick Rothfuss for just creating such a world full of music. And you feel the music even though you don't even know what's being played, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like the way that he describes the music really does like pull at your heartstrings in the way that music does. You know, he describes it so that you can almost, you have the feeling that you feel when you listen to good music. And I love that. That to me is one of the highlights, if not the highlight of the series for me.
If you've ever tried to, like, write about music, you'll know it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Capturing that tone within writing and not even talking about, like, what the song's saying or whatever, it's incredibly difficult. Mm-hmm. So to be able to do that time and time again with his music, we don't even know how Tinker Tanner sounds. But you can picture it.
Oh, yeah.
You can picture it. I picture the scene in the Lord of the Rings trilogy where the hobbits are dancing on the tables and
mm-hmm.
they're singing about the inn.
And everybody knows, like, there are certain songs that, like, at pubs and stuff, everybody knows and, like, everybody can sing. And it's kind of one of those, which I love. I loved the part where he kind of, when he wanted to hang out with Denna and leave early, so he kind of set the audience up so that they were entertaining themselves by doing Tinker Tanner.
That was great.
I thought that was excellent.
Another funny thing I thought about, there was a line when Kvothe went to go see Lauren to buy his book back. He mentioned that Lauren looked like the Doctor character found in many of the plays he knew from his youth. And then he said, I fought off a shiver, trying not to dwell on the fact that the appearance of the Doctor always signaled catastrophe in the next act. As a Whovian, I found that amusing. Haha. And you're not alone.
Yeah,
Good
we
sir.
literally said the same thing today.
The first time I read this, I was thinking like, wait, what? What is it? Is that a Doctor
What?
Who?
Hush, hush.
It had to be a Doctor Who reference, and even going into some things that Rothfuss has said over the years has proved, to me at least, that he is a Whovian.
And in general, he's a huge geek.
Yeah, so he would make that reference knowingly, cheekily.
And even when, too, on Goodreads, a bunch of people have already reviewed
his third and final book.
Yeah, they've already reviewed the third and final book, giving it like 5 stars or 1 star. And he did a commentary on that and saying basically like he thinks time travelers really like his book series, and he mentions the Doctor in that. So you know he does know, you know, he knows what's up.
He knows what's up. So Spencer, thank you so much for your kind thoughts, and we're so happy to like have you here and be able to express like this back and forth.
Yeah, and we're just so happy to, you know, it's so cool for us to have this weekly thing to look forward to and talk with all of you guys and get to know how you're feeling on it, and just, you know, you don't meet many people in real life that you have so much in common with, so it's so nice to meet you guys and talk to you about our stuff.
Graf, you also
blew us away. Well, I haven't actually read it yet.
Well, you blew us away this week because
it's a lot.
You gave us so much to talk about. I don't know if we'll be able to like touch on everything, but
it's awesome.
You sent me your notes on last week's reading a little late, and you apologized like profusely for putting them in late. And dude, don't worry, it's totally cool.
We're good. Late for everything all the time.
Yes,
we're Puerto Rican.
Yes, actually, we are. I'm not just.
It's in our DNA.
I'm not just your typical white boy. We're filming this 4 hours later than we should. I really enjoy the detail of the idea of Sigildry to make it makes sympathy complicated even more when you think of all the applications that it can be applied to in the real world. And yeah, I feel like we haven't gotten too much in the way of like learning how sygiltry works, I guess. So
yeah, I'm excited actually to like keep learning. I think too, like my first time reading through all the books, there's so much going on that I feel like I'm noticing so many more smaller details. And I was thinking about, you know, how fascinating it is and how cool it is, and I'm really curious to keep picking up more on how it works, and I feel like I still don't fully grasp it.
You commented on something we were saying a few weeks ago, I think, that Kvothe is a Marty Stu sort of character, and you say you don't agree with that because part of the charm of his character is the brilliance that he brings to the table, but also the drama is unfolded by the repercussions of the pushback of his reckless behavior. And Pat Rothfuss need to create a balance for the character, and you're loving that. No, no argument here.
Yeah, I find it so funny that like a lot of people's complaints with this is that he's a Marty Stu, because to me he screws up just as much as he accomplishes. Like, it's like he takes 2 steps forward and 1 step back every time. So yeah, he's making headway as he goes, but he's capable of so much more, but he's reckless.
Speaking of complaints that people have, actually Pablo Shaler, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, you commented on last week's video thanking us for the detailed and intelligent discussion on one of your favorite series, and he says that all other book clubs and podcasts for this book had some sort of major problem with it, and one group had the opinion that this book had a glaring woman problem, and it's crazy to me to like comprehend that, because you think of the narrative and the point of view that you're looking through. It's a character at the age of 15, he's not even 16 yet, who doesn't have any experience with women. So the only thing he's going to be cognizant of in his narration is what he was thinking at the time as a young boy who's hormonal, A. B, who is trying to find his way through love for the first time ever in his life. And I actually feel like the females in this book are given quite a bit of balance, and we haven't even like gotten to some of the best characters.
Yeah.
Like Fella. One of my favorite characters in the series is Devi, who we met briefly earlier in the book, and she just gets so much better. It's
and that's
crazy
the thing, I feel like all of the women do. Like, you're seeing this story through the eyes of a man who's attracted to women. Obviously, he's going to describe how women look. Yeah. And obviously what the type of things that men notice about women, you know. But to me, that's almost the equivalent of saying, you know, that Star Wars is anti-feminism because of putting Leia in the slave Leia outfit. Meanwhile, you know, just like Carrie Fisher said, yeah, I choked and killed Jabba the Hutt with that outfit. It's like, in these situations, like, this, you know, it kind of is like a fantasy, like, older times era, you know, even though it's not on Earth. And, you know, if you think about the Renaissance era, that is how women were treated. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love the way that he portrays women. All of the women are really, they're viewed by men for their looks, but they're super strong and intelligent. Mm-hmm. And he's even said very few women are allowed into the university, or not allowed, but like their circumstances don't line up with the university. So women are rare. So that's why you don't see a ton of women. And he even explains that. So I'm just a little confused about what people could possibly, and like, comment if you feel like that. I'm very curious to know like how people could say that this series isn't pro-feminism, because I feel like I absolutely love all the female characters and that they're written very well. They seem very balanced. I hate when I read series and women just are weird and like, or not weird, but like just don't make sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or the typical strong female character, like women are so much.
Going back to Graf's comment, the duel with Finn is scary. He was already tired, but he, too, was in a lot of danger. If he hadn't been defensive at first, he may have ended up like Finn, or worse. And he's talking about the scene where he had to, like, break his mind into a couple pieces to be able to defend as well as, like, light the candle. And he was showing off. He was showboating his ability to use sympathy by basically burning himself out.
And I think that shows so much of Kvothe's personality, because we constantly see him risking it all for profit or for gain or whatever he wants in return. And that's why I'm a little worried, about next week, because we see him saying he's going to find a way into the archives with his lantern that, Master Kilvin specifically told him not to use, and the archives, which Lauren, barred him from, or banned him from. And he will put everything on the line for what he wants. Even if it's just a little payoff, he really doesn't care. So, and just like that other guy was, but it shows, what could happen to someone who is like that.
Ari. I have not read the novella, and he's talking about the slow regard of silent things.
You have to.
I will, after the rereading of the second book, hopefully with you all. She is one of my favorites within this world. And, I've been thinking about it, what do you think after reading The Wise Man's Fears, just spending a week, maybe a week and a half on the slow regard of silent things? Because it's a short read.
You guys better be ready to see me look like an absolute psychopath. If you want that, you'll get it.
It's a good read. It really is.
I literally have pages of notes on that book that I've read. I've gone through several times because I feel like that book is so much more than what it seems to be. But yeah, we'll go into it. But I'm just warning you. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ham.
So you start talking about A Place to Burn, which is the scene that we were talking about earlier with Stanchion and Diok in the Aeolian, and Kvothe plays the Lay of Sir Savian, which is notorious within musician circles for being extremely, extremely complicated. And it's a duet, and Kvothe only has the himself.
And again, another situation where he's gonna put it all on the line, risk his whole performance, and put it on, gamble on the audience.
Yeah.
Just to pay off, because he knows it'll be worth it.
The search for his Elohim, someone does pick up the part of Elohim, which is the counterpart to his Sir Savian. It's just such a beautiful scene, until his lute string breaks, and right before the song finishes, and everyone is heartbroken in the audience, and they're restless, and they're just coming out of the trance that Kvothe and Elohim, this Elohim person, has put them under. And then Kvothe picks up the song again because of his experience playing with less than the optimal amount of lute strings. Mm-hmm. And he's able to complete the song, a very difficult song in its own right, with little to no ease. Even Willem, he doesn't have much in the way of knowledge of music, but he notices how simple it looks for Kvothe to do, which is a testament to how good he is.
The way that Rothfuss wrote that scene, when the string breaks, you just feel it. You feel that tension in the audience. Everybody just grows silent. Everybody hanging on, what he's going to do. And that, he had blood on his hand dripping down, so you can picture, his black lute, the blood on his hand, and, just, the tension in the room. I feel I felt like I was there. It was just written so perfectly that you just felt like you were a part of it. I felt like I was in VIP watching from, behind the stage. It's kind of the way I picture it. Mm-hmm. I was, kind of VIP, off to the side. Both there, the audience is there.
So question, Jen. Do you think Ambrose was the one who snapped a lute string?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
He will go through any lows. And that's why, you worry, because Kvothe keeps underestimating him.
Yeah.
And he will do whatever it takes to defeat
And we see later on
nemesis.
that he was out of his way to basically buy out most of the inns in Imre to spite Kvothe out of a place to live.
And that's what I love, Ambrose...
He's such a great villain.
Ambrose, yeah, you've totally met someone like him, just kind of a bratty, know-it-all, entitled piece of crap. And it's funny because Kvothe defeats him with such ease.
Yeah.
It's kind of just swatting away at a fly, it's but Ambrose is giving, the rivalry his all. And Kvothe just writing dumb songs and posting pictures around the school and making fun of him. And I think that's what's so great, because if Kvothe had the money, Ambrose wouldn't even be a thought to him, and that's why Ambrose hates Kvothe so much, because it's so easy for him.
I love how when you do something amazing from your point of view, we always need feedback. That's something that Kvothe actually battles with very briefly. At the end of his song, did I do well? Mm-hmm. And then you hear the sobs from the audience, and then the clapping, the staggered clapping, and then it's almost an uproar of emotion that he feels, and he realizes, yeah, I did a good job.
And Simon crying. I loved that Simon was just like weeping shamelessly.
Yes.
I love that.
You mentioned we start to doubt, then we get encouragement, then we soar. And that is why I think YouTube is your stage. You both have found your niche and are geeking out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
And that's why we love talking with you guys and connecting with you guys, because it is like, wow, people actually like the same stuff as us and, you know, care about what we have to say, and that means the world to us. Mm-hmm. You know.
Eloine is found, and she is beautiful. Yes. That turned out to be Denna. Denna, the girl he fell in love with. Like
right from the start.
Yeah, right from the start. Hasn't seen her since. And all of a sudden she shows up. And it's serendipitous, and it's fantastic, and it is amazing to think that it had only been 6 months since Denna and him, had seen each other. The anticipation was great, then the payoff was sad. She pulled up from running over to him, then Savoy marking her as his, but still, in quotes, 15-year-old minds, she was still his. If only this or that. I was so worried when he handed her his pipes. Weren't we all?
I know.
Like...
And this is my second time reading it, and I'm still in my mind like, she better not take them. Don't take the pipes.
And
that's true.
You're not really sure what she is. Like, is she a gold digger? Because at this point we don't know what this girl's deal is. And if she would have taken those pipes and ran,
yeah, then
it would have been over.
And that to me shows like she really does care about Kvoth right from the start.
She definitely has standards. The repeat visits to Imre, looking for Denna. What young man hasn't done something like this? How many times did I ride my bike by the pretty girl's house when I was young, just hoping to get a glimpse of her, or get to talk to her? Memories.
So that's something guys do.
Yeah.
Did you ever drive by my house? It's a bit out of the way for him.
No, I was an hour away.
He's not driving by my house.
I'll let you know I'm coming. So you'll be there. No, when I was a kid though, yeah, like after school, like, cause I had a bike, so I would get there first before the school bus, and you know, I'd be in the neighborhood when the cute girls would get off the bus or whatever. That was the thing. That
was the thing. Straight stalking.
It wasn't stalking, probably was stalking. Yeah. Moving on.
If the girls noticed you, you would have been the stalker.
When can he be let back into the archives? That has been the lingering question since his banishment. I love the answer that Master Lauren gave him. Demonstrate patience and prudence, which you have heretofore been lacking. Ouch, so true. When you were young, you did not understand the idea of patience. You want it, and you want it now. And Kvoth doesn't understand patience because he's gotten everything way before anyone else has. He finished his artificing apprenticeship in twice the time in half the time, that other people have. He got into the university years before anyone else, and he's rushing it because he knows he has a limited...
He became Elir within like a week.
Yeah, not even 2 days, remember?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He became Elir in like 2 days, which had to be a record. There's a reason he's like pushing through the ranks as quickly as he is, and that's because he's broke. He's got no money, which is why he has to go to people like Debbie to get loans and find ways to extend his stay, basically. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to get back into the archives as quick as possible.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because, you know, he says to Minette, 6 months, like, that's forever, but to a kid that is, like, I remember summer break feeling like forever, you know, and it was the best. Like, I loved it, but it felt like a year. You know, when you're a kid and when you're younger, time really, the concept is just totally different. Because, you know, the way that he's describing it, you're thinking he's been, you know, banned forever. It's really only been 6 months. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because I think Lauren is very intuitive and, like, totally sees his weakness and is trying to help him and help him learn, like, no, I'm going to be the one to stand up to you. I can't let you just get whatever you want because that'll create a monster.
So he brings Master Kilvin his sympathy lamp. Yeah, he just made a sympathy lamp. But it's not just a sympathy lamp. It is special. Trying to impress his teacher, Master Kilvin sees through it. Then explains what would happen if this lamp fell into the wrong hands, how it could be used for an evil intent. No, he would have to melt it down to its raw metals. All the time wasted. Even the money that he put into it. Which he put over a talent into it. We were talking about, like, what money is worth in this universe. And we came up to about $100 per silver talent.
That was my guess. Just the way that he discusses and talks about things, and even like trying to describe the price of the bar. You know, was it 1,000 talents, 5,000 talents, 10,000 talents? Like he didn't know. He had no idea because he's never owned something like that before.
Right.
But to him, like, you know, $100, like, wow, that's a ton of money. One talent. That's the way that I take it.
Yeah. And the sympathy lamp that he created.
But I'm sure we can find online somewhere a currency exchange.
Yeah.
For Name of the Wind. We should look into that at some point.
All right, so next week we'll come up with a currency exchange. If you guys know, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
But
make our lives easier.
You
please.
also talk about how he talks to Manette afterwards, basically talking about like his mistake in bringing the Sigildry/sympathy lamp to Master Kilvin. And it is true, the type of lamp that he created, it's a very like low light lamp, and it's almost like a flashlight.
Yeah, it's basically like he invented the flashlight.
He invents his own type of flashlight. I'm so excited to see him like actually use it, because you do mention that he goes and grabs that back from Master Kilvin.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna use it to go into the archives another way.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I said to Dakota after that scene, it's kind of like his invisibility cloak. Like now he can sneak around, you know, and lurk around, do whatever he wants without getting caught.
Yes.
Which is so dangerous.
I think that's all the comments that we got this week. But is there anything else you want to talk about, Jen, before we close it out?
Yeah, I think so. The one thing that I wanted to talk about, which Graf talked about a little bit too, is he was saying when Denna and Kvothe were walking together, you know, he thought of The Little Mermaid, Kiss the Girl. And it's true. You're like, oh my gosh, just make a move. Because and he's so cautious, and to me it kind of reminds me of like if you're trying to like coax a wild animal into coming close to you. Like if you've ever like held out food for a squirrel or like a small, you know, easily scared off animal, or even deer. Growing up, like I lived in an area where deer were pretty common, and sometimes I'd wake up super early in the morning and you could, you know, kind of get like closer and closer to deer if you're very slow, very cautious. And that's kind of, you know, he brushes her neck and then she touches it and he's like, is that good or bad? And it's funny, someone who's so confident and so intelligent with women, really, he does show his age.
Or his lack of it, rather.
Yeah, his immaturity. And it's funny that, like, need that he has kind of with his music, you know, after he leaves, he's like, I spoke too much, but I didn't say enough. And he was just thinking of everything that he said and did wrong. And, you know, I know, like, whenever I do, like, social events or going out, I'm kind of that way. Like, I overanalyze the whole situation in my head. Like, oh my gosh, I said that. I'm so stupid. Oh, why did I do that? And it's funny seeing someone like the great Kvothe doing the same, like, kind of getting, like, anxiety.
Yeah, which is a very human thing to happen to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So many great things happen in these few chapters. And we still have 2 more weeks of this book. We're nearing the end of it, and it's only going to keep getting better, especially as we go into a Wise Man's Sphere after this. And we have decided that we are going to be taking at least 1 week off in between books 1 and 2, so that'll give everyone a chance to catch up if you haven't already. If you are trying to catch up, please do comment every time you like get to a point in the story where like let's say you finally finished reading chapter 64. You can go into the comment section right here and talk about everything up to chapter 64. Just no spoilers past that point, because we do want to keep the conversation going, not only like in the present time of this book club, but for future people who are joining later on down the line. Mm-hmm. So this is...
And just because it's an older video, we still see the comment.
Yeah, we still respond.
Yeah, so go for it. Like, if you're seeing this 2 years from now, and you're reading the book series for the first time, comment. Yeah. You know, we'll probably still... I'd like to think we'll still be around reading our comments.
I wonder where we'll be then.
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, guys, next week we are going up to chapter 76. So 65 through 76 are the chapters that we'll be covering. And, of course, any conversation from before that is totally cool. So send us any comments you have, you can send us video and audio at this email right here, so that you can get in contact with us directly, and we can use those clips in our actual video. So please do. We love to hear from you guys. And I think that's all from us.
That's all, folks.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
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 You do know what I'm talking about?